thank the Assemblymen for their leadership, and thank you for you're putting a human face on this issue and for everybody's attention on this issue. I'll be candid. A couple of years ago, I didn't pay much attention to the issue of money bail. I'm passionate about criminal justice reform, but frankly, this is the forgotten piece of the reform that a lot of us in this country are completely unfamiliar with. We're not aware of the insidious nature of money bail. This was supposed to be done away with in the 1960s. In fact, President Johnson in 1964 signed the Bail Reform Act, led by then Attorney General Bobby Kennedy, making the case that money bail was not justice. Money bail was exactly as was presented by the speakers before, by no means determinative of someone's risk, someone's character, someone's danger as it relates to the community, that it's arbitrary. We're one of two nations in the world. This is important for folks to understand. The Philippines and the United States of America are the only two nations on planet Earth that have a money bail system. Since 1964, the federal government's de facto moved away from money bail, but states are still in the business of money bail. Increasingly, there's a growing consciousness that it's time to turn the proverbial page. District of Columbia did that a number of years ago, and success leaves clues. The efficacy of their program is demonstrable. The statistical basis to which they have moved towards other mechanisms to get people back in front of the criminal justice system have been successful. Kentucky in 2011 moved in a more enlightened direction. The idea that we're here in California is rather remarkable to me, that it's taken us, frankly, this long. I want to compliment the legal system for pushing this along. I was mayor of a former city, or rather, former mayor of a city. I know. By the way, a city, Bob, that was the city that was best described as 47.5 square miles surrounded by reality, which is a wonderful way to describe San Francisco. But they were sued, and I'm glad they were sued for their money bail system. There's 7 states that have been sued, municipalities across the country, to be sued to reform. And it's unfortunate that's what it takes, but here we are, and it's a very, very good and positive thing. This is a racial justice issue. I think that's self-evident. This is an economic justice issue. If it's not self-evident before you came here, I hope after you leave you recognize that. And this is, I think, a profoundly important moment in criminal justice reform in this state, and I would argue in this country. And I just again want to compliment the folks behind me, because they're taking on an industry, and this is where I'll close, an industry that plays rough, an industry that, not dissimilar, I'll say it, like the check cashing industry and the payday lending industry, that has made a fortune basically wiring a system, a for-profit system, on the backs of the folks behind me, and millions of people, literally hundreds of thousands of people all across the country, millions over the course of the last few decades, whose lives have been impacted by that system. That's who we're taking on here in this legislative cycle. That is not going to be easy to take those folks on. Final point, this is not just about jobs, this is not just about families, this is literally about life. Think about Sandra Bland, couldn't come up with $500, committed suicide over a trivial little infraction. Think about Robert Durst, who bragged about the fact, because he can afford $250,000, that he skipped on that bail and he was in for murder, but he was out of jail. Sandra was in jail. Multiply those examples by literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of examples. It's about real people's lives, and I want to applaud the leadership behind me for stepping up and stepping in on this important issue. Thank you.